Hey guys, welcome to another video on the Inside Spurs channel, and we do have breaking news. Javi Simmons to Tottenham Hotspur. Here we go, confirmed. We'll be talking about the deal, the numbers, the contract length, which will surprise, I think, a few of you. We'll be talking about Nathan Ake. We'll be talking about, Kobe Mainoo. Excuse me. We're going to be talking about Savinho, and apparently Savinho deal potentially not being dead. Ademola Lookman. Vuskovic going out on loan. There's loads to talk about and there's loads to get into. So we're not going to stall. We're not going to waste time. We're going to jump in and talk about it because I've still got stuff to do today. And I've got to be on a call for 10 o'clock. So let's get into it. But quickly, good morning, Spurs adventurers. Tom, Bazza, Alez, how are we all? Javi Simmons. Let's talk about the man himself because it has been confirmed. It has been confirmed with a here we go with Javi Simmons, and it says breaking Javi Simmons to Tottenham. Here we go. All signed between Spurs and Leipzig for a fee worth 60 million euros, fixed after agreement revealed overnight. Xavi has completed his medical and his contract is also now signed. His contract is until the summer of 2030, so a 5-year deal plus a 2-year option. And then there's a follow-up from Romano saying about Javi Simmons' contract until June 2030, plus a 2-year options until 2032. Tottenham will announce their new star signing today in the upcoming hours. This is fantastic news. This is fantastic news. I do not know for the life of me how Spurs have left the Gibbs-White deal and got burnt, have left the Eze deal and got burned, yet have fallen upwards into one of the most exciting players in all of Europe in Javi Simmons. And he is one of the most exciting players in all of Europe. He was a Barcelona project that he was, when they think about the Pedris, the Gavis and things like that, he was one of those sort of tiered players before those guys. He then goes to PSG, with the Mbappe, Neymar, Messi era where things are a bit indifferent for PSG as a whole. He spends time out on PSV, out on loan in the Eredivisie. He absolutely kills it. He then moves to Leipzig on loan and has a fantastic season in the Bundesliga before making the deal permanent. He's been fantastic in the Bundesliga ever since he first started there, and I always, for me, thought he'd end up at Bayern Munich, but he is going to end up at Spurs. I thought he might even ended up in Chelsea. And there's always a part of me that still thinks, will he end up at Chelsea still? Are we still somehow going to lose out? But I hope not. I'm going to be glass half full. But what I am going to be is a summer fruit squash happy. I haven't had one of these in a while. And I'm just going to take a little victory sip on this one. Adventurous will back me up here. That was deserved. Morning, Jake, Sonny, Sean, Leon, Van Gogh, how are we all? Joshua, of course, how are we all? Chelsea, yeah, Adventurous has just mentioned something really particular. Matt Law has said that Chelsea did not want to hijack the deal because they believe they've mended bridges with Tottenham, which I find is such a random thing, They've mended bridges with Tottenham and do not want to burn them. Evidently, Bowley is like, hey, we probably going to end up selling players in the next couple of years to Spurs, or we might buy off of Spurs. So in the meantime, let's make sure we don't annoy them, So absolutely peculiar. Not really sure as to why, if I'm honest. But regardless, he is a player that we truly, truly need. He is a guy who will add such a massive dynamic to this team. So we're very, very fortunate on that. Yeah. Absolutely mental. I think the deal as well, can I just say, we're talking about what? 50 million? It's big money. It's absolutely big money. Do not get me wrong. I'm not for a second doubting how much it is. but I expected it to be closer to 70 million euros. The fact that it's closer to 60 is very, very fascinating. Will there be a sell-on clause? I don't know. It wouldn't shock me if there's a 10% sell-on clause sort of thing where you can maybe make the money up in a long-term situation if he was to leave Spurs. But he is a here we go confirmed. I'm expecting Javi Simmons to be holding up the Spurs shirt in promo videos this evening. Bob, you don't have to keep asking. It is a here we go confirmed. Check Fabrizio Romano. It's a here we go confirmed. Venturous has said, like I said, 5-year deal plus a 2-year deal option as well. This is a phenomenal signing, by the way. A phenomenal signing. It's gutting that it's taken so long, but as long as this deal is done, paperwork is signed and submitted by lunchtime today, which it's 9:38 a.m. right now, to give you an idea. It is submitted by lunchtime today. He will be able to play this weekend. Now, let me have a quick look. I just want to bring up his transfer market because this will tell me if he has played at all this season. He has. Okay. He has played in the Bundesliga this season. So match fit wise, he's pretty fit. Okay. So that's good news. That is good news. He won't know the system as much. I totally get that. For you, do not expect him to start this weekend. Please do not expect him to start. But a cameo off the bench for 15, 20 minutes, I 1000% can see that. Okay. So yes, he could be playing this weekend. Morning, Jazz. Happy Friday, absolutely. Much better signing than Eze, Bob says. Much better than any other options out there. Van Gogh says, what's Ornstein saying? Ornstein's last tweet about him without checking was that he had completed his medical, or he was doing his medical, one of the two. We knew at about 4 a.m. this morning that a deal basically was agreed. So I woke up at 5:30 this morning and saw that, and I was like, hey, it may be torrential rain in England today, and it may be thunder and lightning, but you know what? I don't care. Javi Simmons is here, so this is a great deal. How do we feel? How do we all feel about Javi Simmons joining the Tottenham Hotspur project? I think for him as well, by the way, Chelsea's an exciting situation, with so many youngsters, so many great youngsters, but he wasn't going to get the minutes that he would have needed. At Tottenham, Maddison injured, Kulu injured. Do you know what? He's probably looked at it as well and gone, I'm going to be the guy there. He's looked at Mohamed Kudus and his start. He's looked at João Paulinho and his start. He's looked at, Sonny moving on. And I think he's probably going to get the number 7 shirt, is my guess. Oh, there you go. Ornstein just tweeted. Javi Simmons signs contract at Tottenham Hotspur ahead of move from Leipzig. Deal for the 22-year-old attacker to 2030 with an option to extend by 2 years. The Dutch international finalising exit terms with Leipzig after Spurs agreed 60 million euro price and personal terms. There you go. Ornstein as well. That's not bad. Any of the big names have all said it, which is great news. People are very happy. I'm glad to see that. But yeah, I mean, proper player, this one. This is it feels big. I think people probably look at the Eze or Gibbs White deal and feel that that's bigger. This guy's upside is seriously high. I cannot stress enough. He was a wonder kid whose trajectory has not left that, ability to get up there. He is 22. Okay. 22, plenty of experience through Europe and big leagues. He will continue to get better. He will grow and grow and grow. And he's got a 5-year deal option to extend for the extra 2. We should be thrilled about this deal. We should be. And I hope we all are. I am absolutely buzzing with this deal. Brilliant, you know. And to think we wouldn't have signed Gibbs White. We wouldn't sign Javi Simmons if we had signed Gibbs White. We wouldn't sign him if we had got Eze. Sometimes, you know what? Things that don't work out can always end up working out. Okay. So that this is brilliant news. Hopefully he gets all signed off and hopefully gets into the squad for tomorrow. That would be amazing. Obviously, Bournemouth tomorrow. Super excited about that game. Super excited about that game. I'm super excited about Spurs football again. I felt flat a few weeks ago. And there was a video that I did and I felt flat and looked a bit miserable because, you know, we hadn't done the business. We had missed out on targets. And I'm sitting there going, there's nothing going on. And I sit here now, call it 3-4 weeks later on August 29th, and I've got an energy about me again. And I still think Spurs are going to have a busy end of the window. We're going to talk about some other targets right now. I still think there's going to be more happening this window in terms of outgoings and incomings. But you know what? I have an energy about me. I've seen Spurs go to Man City and dominate. I've seen Spurs, you know, brush past Burnley. I've seen Spurs go toe-to-toe at PSG. And we've started the season very strongly. Now, we've done this before, and it's always been a bit painful. But you know what? We've got to sit here and go, actually, it's been a good start to the season. Kudus and Paulinho have been impactful players. You know, Benton Cord seems like he's returned to form. Romero, new long-term contract, which let's never forget, Romero's long-term deal is magnificent. Okay. But adding in Kudus and Paulinho and adding in now Javi Simmons. Javi Simmons for me is the big one. Like, I know I wasn't a big Kudus Paulinho move guy. I'm happy to be proved wrong by them so far. Really happy. I'm still the winner because Spurs are good. But this is the move that I wanted early in the summer. I was gutted when he was going to go to Chelsea. Absolutely gutted. And now I'm sitting here going, he's a Spurs player. And I'm absolutely buzzing with that news. Buzzing. Whoa. Let's have another sip of summer fruit squash to celebrate, lads. Come on. Who would I have in the 10 position? Oh, it's quite obvious I'm talking about the guy now. Xavi Simmons is the 10 position, fella. And you know what the beautiful thing is? We've now got some options in the midfield. We've got the ability to rotate, and we need to be rotating early on in the season, keeping everyone super fresh. So when we get to Christmas and you're playing 2-3 times a week, we can handle it. Okay? Xavi works out cheaper than Eze and Gibbs White. Happy days. Everybody laughs and takes a rise out of Spurs. Who's laughing now? More signs for the end of the window. Absolutely. Could be a special season. Big up, Faz. Looks like this time is real. We got him. Chelsea have changed their mind. What's his wages? He'll be on big money. He'll be on big money, no doubt. But I'll see about that down the road. Sniffer, we're going to get burned. Need to see him holding the shirt. Has he signed yet, though? Do we go for another 10? No, he won't. We won't go for another 10, but we will be going for another attacker. Let's come to the talk about it, because Poseidon tweeted earlier, Tottenham want one more forward. A report suggesting Manchester City Savinho is still under consideration are true. However, Spurs are prepared in any case. Ademola Lookman, who is known to be very keen on a move to Spurs, tops the list of potential alternatives, which also include Morgan Rogers, Lucas Paqueta, and Akaluche from Monaco, who are being closely monitored by Tottenham. But there's more on the Savinho side of things, because Dean Jones, who was the first actually to put it out there on the Spurs and Savinho interest, by the way, has said that Spurs remain in contact with Manchester City to sign Savinho in the event a transfer can be revived. Man City do not want to sell, but there is suspicion within Spurs they're continuing to search for potential replacements. The player continues to want the move, which is encouraging Spurs to continue to push for a deal. Now, it has also been said that Savinho is unhappy with the situation as he wants the move, which is quite crazy, because it came from TBR Football this morning that Savinho is unhappy at his proposed move to Tottenham being blocked by Manchester City and has made his feelings clear to the club. He remains keen to join Spurs and is still hoping a transfer can materialise before the window shuts. My God. Just do it. Just do it. Just inject this happiness into my soul. I'm sorry, but Savinho, Simmons, Kudus. Sorry? You want to talk about players that want to get you off your seat? They'll do it. You want to talk about impactful players? Savinho, the guy can create you opportunities. You just need to be in the box. He'll create the opportunity for you. We've seen Kudus so far start the season hot. What made me sit up about Kudus was the fact that he actually played really well against Nuno Mendes, which I haven't seen anyone really do. And he was very good against him. I do it. Pep's always said that he'll let a player leave if Savinho, he'll let a player leave if he asks to leave. This guy is asking to leave. Spurs need to push that little bit harder and see if we can test their resolve. I mean, we all thought Javi Simmons would be more expensive because a Gibbs White or Eze deal was 60 plus. This is 52, 51. Money is still there to go, by the way. You signed Kudus for 55. Javi Simmons will call it 50. It's 105 million plus Paulinho. The money is still there. That's the key thing here. There is still money to spend. Now, I expect players to leave. Vuskovic has gone on loan to Hamburg, which brings me quite nicely to my next point, because I want to talk about another Man City player. And people going, oh, hang on a second, another Man City player? What do you mean? Who's on the list now? Who's on the list now? But Dean Jones, again, he's been very good with Spurs Man City reports, saying that Spurs have held discussions with Man City in a bid to discover whether it's possible to sign Nathan Ake. Other ITKs have backed this up as well. Now, the key thing on Ake that I think we need to remember is Akanji, I think, is leaving. I can't remember exactly who it was, but I believe Akanji will be leaving. So we need to be aware of that when it comes to the deal being more possible. Hell, just go and get a double swoop. Go and get Savinho and Ake. The guy can play a little bit left back as well. Don't forget, he plays a bit of hybrids. I mean, he came on against us at left back. I felt for him against Kudus a little bit. Coming into a game cold, obviously off the bench, you have to deal with Kudus, who's running around like a machine. It's never fun. So I don't blame him for that, if you know what I mean. But he is a good player. People talk about Prem proven and things like that. It doesn't hurt. I know it's not the sexiest thing. We could go out there and sign a really sexy name, but it's like, actually, what's the harm in having a player that can just do a job? And he would improve our defensive area. He'd improve the fact that he can play left back. Mickey can also play left back. Both of them are a left back, left centre back hybrid for Holland as well. The Dutch connection at the back is going to be electric. Then you find the Dutch boy in the midfield who's going to be the absolute star of the team. Do it. So in terms of that, in terms of Savinho, it's not dead. Is it likely? I just don't feel like it is, but it is not dead. Okay. On Ake, it depends what they're going to do with Akanji. Stones is back. They've got Diaz. They've got Gavardio, who I think will be back from injury, I think soon. Don't hold me to that. You still got Kusanov. Rico Lewis is staying. Obviously, Nori, I know, got injured against Spurs as Ake came on for him. Let's see what the situation is there with his injury. I don't assume it'll be long-term. It feels like just a muscle injury or something like that. So I think there's still legs to this situation. Let's hold out and see. It's going to be a crazy time, really, in the next few days. Spurs are going to be active. I cannot stress how active they will be. Looking at Kobe Mainoo, yeah, Dean Jones, again. Dean Jones is on an absolute heater at the moment. I can't stress this enough. He says that Tottenham have made initial contact with Manchester United yesterday about signing Kobe Mainoo. Manchester United are reluctant to sanction any potential departure. Now, David Ornstein tweeted yesterday about this, which was fascinating. Yesterday, 11 hours ago, call it 11 p.m. last night, saying that Kobe Mainoo informs Manchester United of his wish to leave on loan before the deadline. The 20-year-old has told Man United no desire to sever ties, but wants to move for game time. Club have made clear not sanctioning temporary switch. Expect the England international to fight for place. I think if you offered good money, that deal gets done. I think they want to cash in on Kobe Mainoo. I don't think Mainoo will be an Amarim kind of guy. You know, I don't foresee Spurs going the midfield route. You know, obviously with Archie Gray being there, with Lucas Bergvall, Pape, João Paulinho, Bentancur. Obviously, Kulu will be back at some point. Don't forget that. Basuma is still here. There is obviously that situation we're not too sure what's going on there. We expect him to move on. There's been some interest from Roma. He's had interest from Galatasaray. We're still not sure there. We've still got Manor Solomon. Let's not forget about Manor Solomon that we still need to move on from, and Brian Hill. And, Spurs are going to be, I think, in the next few days, you are going to see me a little bit too much. I think you'll be sick of me by the end, okay? And that's fine. It's a good problem to have. If you have to see me a lot, it means Spurs are active a lot, okay? On the situation, though, I feel like if you pressed me on the attacker side of things, if Spurs are to sign another attacker, let's talk hypothetical here. We don't know. Morning, Sonia. Akanji was rumored to go to join Galatasaray. It's AC Milan, I think Akanji is linked with. Can someone double check that for me? I think Akanji AC Milan is the chatter at the moment. With the hypothetical, Savinho and Lookman, it feels like Lookman is a ton more likely. That's due to obviously the fact that he wants to leave. I think Atalanta are happy to probably cash in on him. City obviously don't really want to sell Savinho because they're not sure if they can get a replacement in for him. Obviously, we'll see on that side of things, but I feel like Lookman would be a bit more likely. Okay. But if Savinho is going to push, you just never know. That's the thing with these sort of deals. If a player really puts his foot down and really wants to go, he'll go. He will. So we'll see on that side of things. On the defense, obviously, look, Vuskovic being out on loan now to Hamburg. By the way, I think that's a great move. He's going to play week in, week out football in a top league, which I think the Bundesliga is one of the best leagues in the world. I think the Premier League is the best. You could argue the Bundesliga is probably second. I'm not saying it is or isn't. I'm saying you could argue it's second best. The quality of football is fantastic. The pace is good. The physicality is good. And I think he will be a great part of that league going forward. He'll be great for Hamburg, but obviously we would then look to need to bring someone else in. Now we've got Romero, we've got Mickey, fantastic. We've got Big Kev Danso, who I love. I think Dragic will come back. I think Dragic will get better, by the way. I do. His trajectory and upside is there. I know some people aren't as keen on him. I don't foresee him being as bad as some people think. As a defender, in the air, physicality, he's got it all. He's pace-wise he's not actually that bad. It's just, everyone compares a defensive player's speed to Mickey van der Ven, who is the quickest defender in the world. It's unfair on those guys, but I think he will continue to get better. You add in Nathan Ake, who is a fullback hybrid, alongside Mickey. You've still got Destiny, who I think Destiny's back in the squad for this weekend. I know last weekend was a bit too soon, but he had been in training. You got you got Spence, who's obviously been fantastic so far this season across all 3 games. You might have value Spence as a right back now, which is fine. It's not a problem. And you got a Doggy and Ake at left-hand side. That's a good problem to have. So it's exciting. Yes, we've left it to the end of the window. It's not great. I totally get that. But do you know what? It's better than nothing. That's the way we should look at it for today. Let's try and be positive about today. Just having a bit of a look over the window, just in case there's anything going on. Not too sure anything just yet. No. No. But yes, great news on Javi Simmons. Let's see what is left for Spurs in the last few days of this window. No, it's the 29th today. We've got Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to get things done. You'll be surprised. 3 days at the end of the window, things can move pretty damn quickly. But you need to have things kind of in place for the last day. Okay, so super exciting. I hope everyone is a bit pumped for this move. It's pumped for the weekend game tomorrow. Follow me down on Twitter down below. I'll be keeping up on updates on the move, and I'll be reposting things and things like that. But I hope to see you all tomorrow to talk way more about Javi Simmons, way more about Spurs, other moves, hopefully a Bournemouth win. But let's wait and see. Enjoy the rest of your days, everyone, and I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Take care. Peace.